Hey everyone, welcome to our TGM Lives. We come to you guys every 2 weeks, bringing you up-to-date info, open discussions, and just everything that's going on in the Grounded Man community. My name is Vlad. I'm known as the Abundance Cultivator here, and I'm joined by none other than Braden himself. Braden, man, how are you?
Good, bye. Good. Hey, everyone. Good to be here. Thanks for tuning in and watching this. Yeah, I know we missed our session a couple weeks ago. You were traveling and I was
Yeah.
away as well. It's that summertime action, but we're back and gonna keep going consistent with this. So
Oh, for sure, for sure. And yeah, well, yeah, it was a little bit tricky. I was in the mountains, no internet, no nothing. So was yeah, it was definitely tricky there a couple of weeks ago, but we'll make it work moving forward.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so July, Physical Health Month. We're restarting the cycle this month. As we've mentioned, each month we go through one of our six pillars of self-leadership. And we always start from physical health is the beginning because yeah, to me, it's like the body is how we interact with this world that we live in. And so that's our home, that's our first home, it's our first place to really care for and it opens up the relationship into all the other pillars of health. And so that's where we start. And I know Vlad, like you have been you're an athlete, had a real almost a career in that. And have spent a lot of time in your life tending to physical health and helping others to tend to their physical health through coaching. So I thought why don't you kick us off and speak to the people here about how you see physical health and like how do you integrate that in your day to day and keep up with how
Yeah.
you want to perform.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. So I find that an important relationship that people need to understand is there's the mind and there's the body, right? And a lot of the times we focus on, learning things or getting better at our jobs and stuff. And it's a lot of mind focus but we do that at the expense of our bodies, right? And there's like there's an approach that I like about like this is your vessel, right? Like this is your ship. This is your like you can only go as far as your body will carry you. And so by neglecting the body, neglecting that health, that's going to catch up to you. Eventually it'll slow you down, then it'll affect your mental health and so on. And so it is truly a foundational pillar because the better you take care of your body, the more capable you are when it comes to all other aspects of your life. Just telling Braden I swallowed a fly just as we came on and keeps tickling my throat. It's actually
Keeps
terrible.
getting you.
So yeah, so for me, it's I've always found that physical health was an important part. I mean, as men, at least for me, like ever since I was little, having like a strong, capable like body was always like a very masculine thing to me. And so I've just kind of embraced that. And I just find that the older I get and the more like the food that I choose to put in, the exercise that I choose to do, the more I take care of my body, I feel like the more it enables me to do in life. And I think that that's really, really important, right? Because I mean, I would like to live a full life, and not just, a good life for, 20, 30 years. And then after that, I'm playing catch up. There is a famous saying that the Dalai Lama had, where what confuses him most about man is that they sacrifice their health to make money, and then they sacrifice their money to recoup their health, right? And that's one of those sayings that like it really sticks with me because there's a lot of truth to that, right? Like we kind of neglect it, right? And the beautiful thing, and actually it's kind of impressive if you think about it, like your body can take the abuse. Like it can go years of just being fed garbage food, no exercise, lack of sleep, and it will still keep going. Like that's the magic when it comes to the human body. But after time, I mean, there's only so far you can go before eventually it breaks down, right? And so for me, I find that, if you take that time, you'll reap the benefits of it. And so for me, like I've in the past, like I've done, you're absolutely right, like I've done tons of different sports, I've done tons of different challenges when it comes to fitness, but I think the real beauty is being able to share that with others. And so I've had weight loss programs that I've done in the past that I've shared with the world, that then coaching as well. And I find that, I mean, it truly is something magical when you get that feedback of people that are struggling with what seems to be simple things in life, but just because of the neglect, and then they're able to re-unlock some stuff like that. Like, I'm just thinking some of the highlights. Like, I've had guys that literally would go out of breath just getting up from their couch to go grab some food from the fridge. Fast forward a few months, they prioritize their health and they're running half marathons. Like, crazy to me, right? Guys that like fathers that wanted to walk their daughter down the aisle and just weren't sure that they were going to make it to that. Fast forward a couple of years, they prioritized their health, they lost a whole bunch of weight, and here they are walking their daughters, right? It's like, this is what physical health can unlock, is really the ability to get the most out of life. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's. I'll let you talk. I can keep going on this topic for days. But what's I don't know. What do you think about some of that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few pieces that you touched on that I kind of want to go in on.
Mm-hmm.
The first piece that's coming up there towards the end is like similar to what we talked about during Financial Health Month, where it's not so much the money itself, right? It's like, what does doing this thing, this practice of consistency and like discipline and devotion towards physical health, what does that actually get you long term? And you spoke to some of it. And I think that's the important piece, especially as a father, like being able to like play with your kids, connect with them. You have two young kids, to be mobile, to get down on their level and crawl and roll
Mm-hmm.
and jump and hang and swing and do all of
Mm-hmm.
these things. It's like you're now deepening the connection. And like, imagine instead of that, you were watching them doing that and they're asking you, but you can't physically do it. So now you feel like guilt and a sadness and a heaviness, and they feel that. And that's the whole dynamic that's being created instead of
Mm-hmm.
like pure play.
Yeah.
And so that's how I like to think of physical health too, is like, I don't know about you, but I still pretty much every workout, like I don't want to do it, and even through the workout,
Yeah.
my mind wants to like pull back and not do it. But I know that over long term and even after the workout, I'm gonna feel so good,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to unlock, yeah, skills for me to do better in life and to yeah, live longer and more with more vitality. And so I love that way. The other piece that I liked that you mentioned was like the mind body connection. And it made me
Mm-hmm.
think of that exercise that we did in the grounded man, that I remember you saying you had kind of
Mm-hmm.
a powerful experience where it was like, let's have those two identities as almost like two individuals talking to each other, right? The mind is its own entity and the body is its own entity. And what does the body have to say to the mind? Like, what is that relationship between the two?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could touch on how that
Yeah, yeah, I'm
exercise
so glad
landed.
you brought that up, because that was huge for me, right? Because I'm always, and then maybe it's just my personality, but I've always, with all the sports and everything I've done, I've always kind of wanted to push myself to compete, to get better. I pin myself against others. Hey, I can beat that. I can beat this number. But what that ended up doing for me is it disconnected mind from body in a way that my mind wanted more, 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 push, 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 more, more, more. My body couldn't keep up. And my body was like, I was dealing with injuries all over the place, right? And I was like, whatever, we'll disregard that. We'll keep going, right? And there came a point, and with that exercise, it really slapped me in the face, where it just was like, the body can't, man. Like, it's doing what you're asking it, but you're pushing it beyond its limits. Like, it needs rest, it needs to be taken care of, and it needs to be approached a bit differently, right? And I think I kind of forget, right? I'm in that like 20s mentality, and it's like, bro, like, you gotta slow down, you gotta respect the body. But I find that once I understood that relationship, and once I actually gave my body a voice, it was like, oh, this is what you need to allow me to achieve the things that I want. And once I learned to respect the body a bit better, like, all my injuries are pretty much gone. I'm playing all of the same sports. I'm still doing all of the same exercise I'm doing. I'm approaching it a little bit differently, where I'm allowing the body time to rest, rejuvenate, and then be in a, like, when I do go ahead and use it, like, I'm not using it at 80%, a damaged up body, right? Like, I'm using the full capacity of it, right? But I'm giving it time to rejuvenate. So it's just learning, giving your body a voice, I think is really important, and just taking time to like listen, like what does my body need? And then, creating that relationship where it's an actual relationship between body and mind and not just one or the other, right? Yeah. Yeah. I did want to talk. Can you hear me? You're good?
Yeah, sorry, I just muted myself there and but yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, the other part I was going to touch on is moving a little bit away from this, but just a lot of the times I find that because you made the comment around I don't know if I want to go into the gym, right? And I see this all the time, especially as people get older, especially as lives get busier, right? It gets harder and harder to prioritize physical health, right? It's just like, oh well, whatever, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it, I'll maybe here, or maybe I'll try this workout program. But what I find is important when it comes to physical health is to make it easy, make it like make it so that it doesn't feel like it's a giant commitment, right? You can if you want, right? But make it easy. And it doesn't take much to take care of a body from a physical perspective. What it does take, though, is consistency over time, right? And I find that like I see it tons of time, especially when I was doing the weight loss. Like people, oh, how can I lose the weight? And I want, and I'm like, man, I can make you lose the weight, no problem. The problem is, are you going to keep that weight off, right? All the habits and all the healthy things that you are doing to take care of your body, are you going to be able to stay consistent with that over time, right? That's the big question. So what I always tell people when it comes to starting with physical health is don't go on the internet. Don't go looking at these like supermodels that are jacked up or super fit or they're pulling off all these incredible things. It takes time to get there, right? And of course, we all, if that's what you strive for, sure. But like that's the final product, right? Like you still got to start walking the path somewhere and you have to get there, right? That takes consistency. That takes time, right? So what I always tell people is when it comes to physical health, keep it simple, keep it consistent, right? If all you got is 5 minutes a day where you go for a walk, do your 5 minute walk every day. That's actually fantastically healthy for you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If all you got time for is 5 push-ups or 10 squats, or you know what I mean? Like you don't have to make it complicated. Even running up and down the stairs, say a couple of times, right? Like you can use what's at your disposal. Really, the goal isn't so much to like get a crazy pump on or whatever. It's just move your body, get the
Yeah.
juices flowing, and stay consistent with it over time. You can always build on it, right? But at least get that habit in place and then stay consistent. Yeah.
And we see that so much in habit change in general, right? And
Mhm.
I see it in myself, man. It's like I want the perfect outcome and
Mhm.
I'm willing to put in like, a couple weeks of effort, but then when I look in the mirror and I don't see that thing, I'm like, I'm so disheartened. And so it's a whole mental reframe. That's what worked for me of like letting go of this idea that it's anything about like months or even a year. Yeah, you'll see changes during that time, but this is like a lifetime thing. It's not
Mhm.
something to just get a quick fix or change your body or whatever. That might be side effects of it.
Yeah.
But it's the long term. And I love what you said because I think that's important too. Like even you, and even myself, like if we talk about weightlifting, like you can lift heavier in a lot of areas than me, but even me, I can lift heavier than most of average people. And so that's a piece to remember as well. Like, oh, we're talking about like top 10% of people. What about like the general population? What are the simple things? And I love how you mentioned it's like getting for a walk, like doing some of the basics, hydrating the body. What's your sleep quality like,
Mhm.
screen time, all of these little pieces that I think intuitively we know. We
Mhm.
have those little feelings of like, oh, I've spent too much time on my screen today, or like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm not drinking enough water, or I'm eating too much sugar or carbs. And it's like all of these things. You don't need to outsource your power to the internet to be like, how do I take care of myself? It's like
Yeah.
just listen to your body and it'll tell you how to take care of it, which again comes back to that exercise of like, let's give the body a voice to say
Mhm.
what it needs from you because it might be like, hey man, you're pushing me too hard. Can you slow down?
Yeah. Yeah. You made a really good point where, this is the upper 10, you know what I mean? Like this is that last percentile of people, right? And you can get trapped in that. And that's once again, that's the mind not listening to the body, right? Because if you're surrounded in say a gym setting where you're lifting crazy heavy and I mean I got caught in this trap I was chasing the massive numbers, competing against, where would I fall if I was competing and blah, blah, blah. And like I was pushing my body to its limits, right? Injuries, it took me weeks to heal from injuries because of the weights that were getting moved. Like the slightest little tweak, could really mess you up, right? And I'm thinking about it and I'm going like, dude, I'm sitting in that like upper percentile. Like this is all the strength that I need. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But because I'm like, my mind is so focused on this next little number, it's not listening to the body. And it's like, am I not happy with the strength that I have? I'm like, I actually am very happy with the strength that I got. So it's like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? So it's that reframing. It's that, once again, mind body connection to know what it is that you actually want. Like, what does the body want, right? Like, you really
Hmm.
got to listen. You got to give it a voice, right?
And
Yeah.
and even exploring, man, because like I was doing a weight training program for, since last like summer until about March of this year. And I was seeing progression and feeling good in my body and getting stronger. But then just a few couple of months ago, I switched to a body weight only
Mm-hmm.
program, and I still do like squats and deadlifts, but everything else is body weight centered. And man, my body feels so good. It's like, yes, like this is what I want. Like I can
Mm-hmm.
feel the strength improvement already. I have so much more mind body connection during my day to day because it's like, oh, there's that extension that I feel in that movement, and I just feel more like agile and strong and mobile. And it's like, oh, this is actually applicable to the rest of my life. Whereas like, is deadlifting 400 pounds applicable? Like, okay, there are some instances where it might be useful, but I know I can do that. I don't need to like keep training it to get to like 500. Like that, what do I need that for, you know?
Yeah. Well, you bring up an excellent point here. And the beauty of physical health is that it can come in all shapes, forms, sizes, right? Like for somebody, that's weightlifting. For somebody else, that's rock climbing, right? For somebody else, that's running, right? Like there's so many ways that you can take care of your body. And just because something works for someone doesn't necessarily mean that that's the thing that you need to do. Like that's the right way. There actually isn't a right answer when it comes to
Hmm.
physical health. The only thing that is right is consistency over time, right? But honestly, like I would invite people, like if you don't know where to start, just start trying different things, start trying different movements, start trying, like there's so many things you could do. And then the things that you like the most, the things that resonate most with you, just do those,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it's not a chore. It's not this, oh, I have to go lift weights, right? Like if that's not your thing, bro, don't go lift weights. You know what I mean? Like there's so many other
yeah.
things you can do. So yeah. No, yeah, you hit that one right on. Like that's the beauty of this world, right? Like so many ways. Yeah.
Yeah, and to come back to, the wholeness of physical health, which I find like, yeah, is when we hear that word, when I hear that word, when I other people do, it's like that's what we kind of associate with is like movement and exercise,
Mm-hmm.
but there's like all of the other pieces of, what are you consuming? What's your environment like? Like right now I'm outside, you're surrounded by trees. There's a rock climbing wall here. Like this is where I'm doing my work. This supports my physical health right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then sleep habits, resting, like all of these different components that we can get into. And
Mm-hmm.
even, this month in the Discord, we put up and we won't get into this, but maybe our next call in a couple of
Mm-hmm.
weeks we can dive deeper because I put up 6 or 7 topics at the beginning of the month for the members to choose, like, hey, what do you guys want to dive deeper on as it relates to physical health? And one of those topics was self-love,
Mm-hmm.
self-pleasure, masturbation, and sexual energy. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's a component of physical health. And overwhelmingly that was the one that was selected by the guys of like, hey, we want to talk about this. And so, it's such a big piece of life and how we connect to our body and like we're talking about with movement here, that's a form of consistent self-love. And so what are the other ways you're like loving on your body like you would a lover,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, I think maybe next week we put a pin in that to say, hey, let's dive into like how are we really loving our bodies, not just in the ways that we know, but like in our own little ways in the morning to like take care of ourselves. And it's not not an escape, you know?
No,
It's
no,
a deepening.
it's definitely a good tease. I agree. We would need a whole session for a chat on that topic for sure. But it does bring an important point to what you were saying is taking care of the body comes once again in different ways, and it's just like obviously I'm a car guy here, so I'm just going to use a car analogy, but like it's like your car, right? Like you need to change the tires, you need to change the brakes, you need to change the oil, you need to take care of this, right? Like all of that stuff asks for time and attention. And I mean, you can neglect it, right? But what happens when you do, right? And so just like a car needs different components that need to be maintained, so does your body in different ways, right? And so it's just making sure that all of that's in some form of a healthy balance. But the last thing I kind of want to say for today is, I mean, we talk about our six pillars here at the Ground and Man, but the physical health pillar, like this is really an important pillar, guys. Like it's like I can't stress how important it is when it comes to like if you choose to neglect it, like that table becomes wobbly, right? And it's like it needs to be prioritized. And I know life gets busy. I hear this all the time, right? Like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't know where to put it. Don't make it complicated, keep it easy, but give it the time and the energy that it needs. Because I promise you, like every other aspect of your life will improve if you give it the time it needs, right?
It's like I said this to my girlfriend the other day. It's like brushing your teeth. It's not something that you ever debated. It's like you need to clean your teeth. Like this is the same thing. You need to take care of your body each day. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be all you do, but that's part of the maintenance. And I love like the car reference. I use buildings a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, same thing. There's a maintenance protocol for the body, and every body is going to be unique. So like you need to learn what your maintenance is. When do you need to top up the fluids? When do you need to change rotate the tires? When do you need to, put some grease in the door hinges so they're not squeaking? Like all these things.
Yeah,
And
there is one thing. The one thing that really resonates with me here is with some of my older clients that I've had. There is one thing that I've learned from people that are older, and that's the fact that like a lot of us work to retire, and then we have all these dreams of what we're going to do in retirement, right? And then you get there, and because you've neglected your body, right, you're very limited to what you can do or where you can go. And all of a sudden, all of these dreams and all these things that you wanted to unlock at your kind of your end life, all of a sudden they're not the way, like you're not going to be able to do them the way that you were thinking you were going to be able to do them. And so the one powerful thing that I got from elderly people, especially those that prioritize their physical health, is they are able to live that end life to, I mean, things obviously with age, like things might slow down, but they're still able to get a lot out of that end life, which is what ultimately, like a lot of us, that's what we work towards. So it's
Mhm.
like, do you want to retire, in your 60s, 70s, and then just have a handful of years left, or be bedridden or whatever, be stuck, like, or do you really want to be able to go into your 70s, your 80s, your 90s, right, and just like really take in life? I mean, you put in the work, you know what I mean? Like you worked your whole life, like now it's time to reap the rewards, right? So it's yeah, if there's anything I've learned from the elderly is like just make it a priority. And the other beautiful thing about it too is like they don't do much. They just stay
Yeah,
consistent with it, right? It's
yeah,
going
yeah.
back to that consistency piece. Like they keep it simple, but they stay consistent. And like it always impresses me when I see like 100-year-olds and like, dude, and I see them and they're walking around, they look healthy, and it's like, dude, there's no way you're 100. He's like, yeah, I'm 100, man. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the
Man,
one thing that
yeah,
they took care of, physical
man,
health.
my granddad every morning would the first thing he would do was wake up and go for like a 2 kilometer walk until he was
Yep.
like 90 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And even once his body started deteriorating, he would still walk the hallways in his where he lived and do as much as he could. But like every day without fail, wake up, put shoes on, go for a walk, come home, have
Mm-hmm.
breakfast. Like that was it, non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And like you say, that's so simple. There's so much more. And he was eating frosted flakes for breakfast, dude. So it's like, you
so
can you
so
can up level that, but he was doing the walk.
okay, so this sounds exactly like my grandpa. He was the exact same. He would walk to and from work. It was close to 2K, which is actually really funny that you mentioned that. There and back. He refused to have a car because he wanted to have the walk. But then he would come home, and this is no lie, he would take like two of those like sugar cubes, and bam,
Yeah.
bam, two of those. And we're like, dude, you might want to chop the sugar cubes. Like, no, I enjoy the sugar cubes. I'm having those. And he went, I think he was like 98 when he passed. And to his grave, he took those sugar cubes. He's like, I'm not stopping the sugar cubes. But
Yeah.
he did the walks. And what was impressive to me with him is like, dude, I've gone on walks with him, and I'm like tired. I'm like, man, can we take a break? He's like, oh, keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
And like, it's just it's impressive what consistency can do. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we'll end on the memory of our grandfathers
Yes.
and their dedication to
Yes.
consistency of their bodies.
Yes. Cool. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap it up. I guess for us and kind of things that are upcoming, real quick, we do have a live potentially next Tuesday. We'll open up a poll in our Discord, just inviting guys for attendance and stuff there. Apart
Yeah,
from
so not
that,
a live call that is. So we're gonna
live
host
call.
a host group
Yeah,
call. So any man can join us from anywhere in the world to go
exactly.
through one of our meetings, and it's free for guys to hop on. So we're gonna do that next Tuesday.
Yeah, just honestly, it's just join our Discord. All the details are there, and then you can go from there. Apart from that, I know there's a game night being hosted by one of the guys. Yeah, guys are really leaning in
We
and
got
kind
the
of helping the
family
community
barbecue
grow.
this month.
Which one?
We got the family barbecue this month, so
Oh,
guys
that's
are
right.
all
That's
coming to
you.
my place and bringing their kids and partners, and again bringing like community together on a deeper level. So
Mhm.
looking forward to that, and yeah, summer's in full swing. So I mean, it feels yeah, it feels really good where things are at right now. But like you said, the main thing for people that are listening is like hop on Discord. There's so
Mhm.
many resources available there. That's where the community is. That's where our
Yep.
events are going to be posted, and you can connect with us in a number of ways on there. So join our Discord. The link will be in the show notes here.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Thanks for hopping
Perfect.
on again as always.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much, and catch you at the next one.
Thanks everyone. Have a good day.